this article, we perform a case study of Bexarotene, an FDA-approved drug for the treatment of cutaneous T-cell lymphoma, to illustrate the policy shortcomings that have handcuffed Medicare beneficiaries with high out-of-pocket costs for specialty drugs, even despite the availability of generic alternatives. My name is Pranav Puri. I'm a third-year medical student at the Mayo Clinic Alex School of Medicine. And on behalf of my co-authors, Dr. Vincent Rajkumar, Dr. Nilay Shah, Dr. Mark Piddleco, and Dr. Aaron Mangold, I'll be discussing our forthcoming article in Mayo Clinic Proceedings entitled Bexarotene, a case study of Medicare Part D's specialty drug shortcomings. So in recent years, specialty drugs have accounted for a disproportionate share of drug spending growth for both patients and health plans. These drugs are used to treat rare, complex conditions and have notoriously high costs. For example, a recent CBO analysis found that Medicare Part D spending on specialty drugs increased from $11 billion in 2011 to $35 billion in 2017. In theory, the cost of specialty drugs should rapidly decline through price competition as drugs lose their market exclusivity and multiple generic manufacturers enter the market. However, for many seniors, the entry of generic competitors has not resulted in significant cost savings. In fact, generic entry has paradoxically resulted in higher out-of-pocket costs for certain drugs. For background, the motivation for this article came out of a clinical rotation I had with Dr. Aaron Mangold, who directs a multidisciplinary cutaneous T-cell lymphoma clinic at Mayo Clinic, Arizona. Cutaneous T-cell lymphomas are a rare group of non-Hodgkin lymphomas that primarily affect older adults. Dr. Mangold sees a large volume of patients with complex cutaneous T-cell lymphomas, and as such, a number of his patients require treatment with Bexarotene. Bexarotene, otherwise known by its brand name, Targretin, is a retinoid analog that was FDA approved in the 1999, and since then, numerous generic alternatives have entered the market. Nonetheless, list prices of both brand name and generic Bexarotene today still exceed more than $100,000 per patient per year. In Dr. Mangold's clinic, we had seen a few patients who were being treated with Bexarotene, and they described all the hours they had spent on the internet, poring through insurance documents, trying to find a Medicare Part D plan that would cover Bexarotene at a reasonable out-of-pocket cost. That prompted an interesting discussion on the quote-unquote financial toxicities of cancer treatment. Physicians who treat cancer patients are well accustomed and well trained to talk to patients about physical pain, fatigue, nausea related to their cancer treatment. But more recently, these discussions have also included the financial distress associated with treatment, particularly for patients who suffer from rare and complex conditions requiring treatment with specialty drugs. In addition, these financial toxicities are especially burdensome for our seniors. It's often overlooked that the median Medicare beneficiary has a monthly income of only $2,000 per month. So for example, a drug like Bexarotene that can cost $7,000 to $8,000 out of pocket per year can substantially alter the financial well-being of a patient. So the stories and examples of these patients led us to dive deeper into the challenges presented by specialty drugs in the Medicare population. In fact, we based our article on some of the foundational principles of drug markets in America. The quote-unquote social contract of drug development in America rewards innovation by granting pharmaceutical companies a period of market exclusivity during which they can earn healthy profits and recoup the costs of research and development. However, this period of exclusivity is meant to be limited. And as generic competitors enter the market, there should be a corresponding decrease in cost through market competition. Broadly speaking, this contract has largely been upheld. Typically, when 4 to 5 generic manufacturers enter the market, the cost of a drug drop rapidly. However, in the case of Bexarotene and for numerous other specialty drugs on the Medicare Part D population, this has not been the case. For example, from 2014 to 2019, 5 generic manufacturers entered the market. However, the average cost for Medicare patients actually increased 9% per patient. The out-of-pocket costs for a patient on brand name Bexarotene, based on our analysis, was found to be around $7,000 per patient per year. However, if a patient were on generic Bexarotene, their out-of-pocket costs would be roughly $10,000 per patient per year. Given this nearly 30% difference in annual out-of-pocket costs, it's not unsurprising that patients prefer to continue using brand name Bexarotene. This is just one example of the numerous market and policy failures that have led to exorbitant costs for our patients with substantial cost sharing. In our forthcoming article in Mayo Clinic Proceedings, we dive deeper into the details and the policy failures and solutions that we think can help better align incentives both for pharma, policymakers, clinicians, and patients, with the goal of ultimately providing affordable and accessible yet innovative access to innovative medications for our seniors. So we thank you for your time and interest in watching this video, and we encourage you to read the full article, which will be shortly online on Mayo Clinic Proceedings.
We hope you found this presentation from the content of our website valuable. Our journal's mission is to promote the best interests of patients by advancing the knowledge and professionalism of the physician community. If you are interested in more information about us, our homepage is www.mayoclinicproceedings.org. There you'll find access to information for our social media content, such as additional videos on our YouTube channel or journal updates on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter. More information about healthcare at Mayo Clinic is available at www.mayoclinic.org. This video content is copyrighted by Mayo Foundation for Medical Education and Research.